All right, I want to thank you guys for joining me today. This is going to be a panel discussion with some illustrious guests of mine who, well, we'll be talking about what it means to be happy in 2021. What are your goals? What are your intentions? And how are you going to achieve these things? I am your host, Lachelle Atkins, also known as America's Supermom, and I'm happy for you to join us today. If you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments and we'll be sure that we will answer them at the appropriate time and manner. So we are going to get started with the first question is, everyone has goals for 2021. We always talk about this failure cycle where we start off strong, 6 weeks, 8 weeks later, everybody has put the goals to the side. So we are going to talk about what we can do to get it right this time. So I am going to kick it off with Lynda, who has accomplished some phenomenal things in her career. How does she stay focused with goals? So,
First of all, that's a funny question because focusing is not something have been known for in my past, but starting last year is when I started incorporating focusing into my life. And I heard this phrase, focus, follow one course until successful. When I started my entrepreneurial journey 6 years ago, I came out of the gate. I had been in corporate for 36 years. I had 49 jobs by that time. So as you can imagine, I had a lot of energy wanting to go in a bunch of different ways. So I came out of corporate and I actually had 7 business ideas at once. Well, they all turned into failures. So it's what I learned throughout the time, this last 6 years is that learning to that focus on one, following one course until successful. It was a challenge for me because I didn't want to be pinned down because I felt that the corporate world had done that to me. So I know Whitney Wiley's here, to talk about, the corporate world and how you enjoy your corporate life. But following one course, it's really the best way. And then because you can add all those other things later, you don't have to do them all at one time. So
I
what
love
does
this.
focusing mean for me? It means just deciding on what the one thing is that I'm going to concentrate on. And then I devote 3 months at a time to it. If after 3 months, it's not going the way I want it to go, then I decide, am I going to do that for another 3 months? So I just go in 3-month increments, and it really helps me to be able to focus on that one thing.
I love that. Okay, that's good. All right. So we are going to talk about now what happens when we have these roadblocks, these things that are outside of our control. So we've all experienced that with this global pandemic, but we're talking about adversity. How do you keep persevering? So we're going to go to Whitney, who can talk to us about being able to persevere in spite of life's obstacles.
Thank you, Lachelle. So, I think the most important thing in terms of like starting where Lynda answered the question, and this thought about perseverance or resilience is about understanding your values and your priorities, right? Understand, then using that to create your why. And the reason that we are often stopped by our obstacles or we miss the mark on our goals is because we're not clear on what we're doing. We're not clear of what the end game is and the why of the end game, so that when something comes up against us, that we can focus on that and keep going. My story involves a tragedy. A little over 15 years ago, my son passed away. He died from results of injuries in a car accident. And at that time, I started to really take stock of what life meant for me, what was important, and really getting clear on not just the stuff that I wanted, but the things I wanted to experience in terms of love. I had been through a divorce, and at that time I was single. And it was like, well, what do I want for my life? What is my vision for my life? What is my vision for my work? Touching base with my values and my priorities, pulling all that together and getting really clear on why I was doing any of the things that I was doing. And staying in that frame of mind has helped me to achieve lots of things that I have wanted to achieve. But it's that which has helped me to move past the obstacles.
Love that. Okay. So, one of the things you said is knowing your why and having that clarity, and that's all related to mindset. So, when it comes to having a mindset to get things done, we're going to go over to Lorraine, who can talk to us about how she maneuvers with her mindset to get all that she needs done.
Well, that's a really good question for me because I don't consciously think about mindset. But the last 8 or 10 months with COVID, I had to readjust my mind to how am I going to find people to connect with? Because I'm a very social person. I guess I still am, but I was always out and about. I was active in the chamber. I was active in different networking groups. I started a women's networking groups 11 years ago. So I was always out and about. And then it was like, what's going to happen now? My grandkids weren't coming over because they were afraid that Granny was going to get this COVID and life changed for everybody. But what I found was there are a lot of networking groups online. So it was a mental shift for me to say, okay, this is how I'm going to meet people. Now, Lynda talks about the group that she has, and I'm very interested in finding out about women action takers because I feel that I am one. And what I found by that shift and that pivot was that I have met hundreds of people over the last 8 or 9 months. So I just think we have to adjust, and focus is a huge word. And it's hard to not be focused. And I was thinking the other day, I've got so many people that I've got to connect with. So it's almost like I have to shift the focus from being out on these groups all the time to finding who I'm going to talk to next, because I have all of these people to talk to. I mean, I met Michele because we're online. And so my mindset shift was, you have to change. You can't continually be doing the same thing over and over and over again. What is it about insanity if you keep doing the same thing over and over again? So I think for me, I was telling the ladies earlier, I started with a company I'm with the week I turned 72, and that was 7 years ago. So my focus has been, how am I going to build my own business? How am I going to stay healthy? And how can I bring that to other people? So if I could have just shut down 8 or 9 months ago and said, okay, I'm never going to do this again. But my mind would not allow me to do that.
Love that.
So I just had to keep going. And now I've met 9 other women that I never would have met if I hadn't said yes to Michele. So ladies, we've just got to keep going and keep saying yes, keep being available to help each other. And I think that takes that same focus and mindset for me. 2021 is going to be a much better year. It has to be. It can't get any worse for any of us, right, ladies?
Absolutely.
So, I hope that answers your question, Michele.
Yes, it was great. And so, now we're thinking about, as we have our goals, how are we going to communicate, to the audience or the people that we get connected to that we feel are like-minded. So when it comes to communicating and, really being clear about some of these things, we're going to take it over to Susan, who can talk to us about communication, how we should handle that in terms of our goals.
Thanks, Michele. Well, when it comes to communication, I think that the very first person we need to communicate with and communicate the best with is our own selves, and really feel very secure about what our goals are, what our focus, and that to others, and take responsibility for what we say to our own minds and how that's going to be translated when we speak to other people. In my experience with my company, Owl and the Apple, I've been very fortunate, and very similar to what Lorraine said, over the past 8 to 9 months to have met so many different highly successful people through online resources. And this has been absolutely a phenomenal way to expand our own reach and communicate the message that we want to give to others. And for me, my message to people to bring wealth, health, and happiness into their lives has been really well served by going out into these groups and meeting them, whether it's on Zoom, and then setting up one-to-one conversations with them, also online, to get to know them better and to further that communication and those relationships. Because the personal relationship you make with others really fosters a sense of trust. It also allows you to show your vulnerability, and they get to show you their vulnerability, and you build a relationship and you improve communication from a really solid and honest place. So knowing yourself, talking with your own mind, knowing what your own beliefs are, and being able to speak to others through a variety of means, I think that I think is a really great way to go forward in 2021 to achieve the goals that you really want to have of health and happiness, wealth, abundance.
Yes. And so, we've all talked about being online and what that means with groups and different presences that we have for opportunities. And we're going to take it over to Celia, who can talk to us about how we can use social media in accomplishing our goals in 2021.
Well, thank you, Shell. That's a good one for me because I am refocused on social media for reaching my business goals. You and I have talked before, you've got to find your audience. Some people call it a tribe, but you've got to find that team, those people that resonate with you. And what I've learned in my social media journey is that a lot of people on my page are just people on my page. They're friends, they're people who like some of my posts, but in terms of being able to do business and be successful, that is not my target audience. So for me, using social media is a means to find those people who are genuinely interested in what it is that I have to offer. Finding those people who are coming to me, asking me for more information, wanting to know more about what it is that I have to share. And through that, I'll be able to not only help more people and be of service, but I'll also be able to share with those who are genuinely interested in what it is that I'm doing online. So for me, social media and the transition that I'm using for 2021 is to focus more on paid advertising and using the skills that I've learned in my online journey with social media to, again, target those people that want to have what I am offering. So for me, social media is a means to an end because, you can get sucked into the time warp of social media. You start flipping through, next thing you know, 20 minutes have gone by. And you haven't gotten a thing accomplished. So now I want to be more deliberate on how I use social media. And then also to take things off of social media, even though we can't have the face-to-face connections like we did pre-pandemic, it is still important to have that humor in a human interaction. You can't do everything by a post, by an emoji. You need to have that conversation with people. And that's what I'm striving to do for 2021. Find the people who are interested in me and my business, and then take it offline and have those genuine conversations.
Love that. And we are going to go to Michele, who's going to talk to us about juggling multiple tasks or responsibilities or businesses. She has many things that she overlooks, just with her job and different factors of who she is. So how do we juggle it all in 2021?
You're on mute, Michele.
Thank you, Lachelle, and thank you, Cecelia. For many of you that don't know, my why is my limitations of just starting my life at the young age of 20 when we're all just vibrant and just having death at my doorstep and looking at what limitations are and disabilities are of having a muscle disease and being told you're going to die and learning and gratefully about my faith. But that took me on a road of learning about organization because it's about counting minutes of your time through that 24 hours, 167 hours in a week, and your steps, and knowing that I only have this much energy. So that is my why. It started in hospitality with leading some great hotels and in tourism, and learning to juggle setting up groups, teaching people, and running sales departments for groups from 20 to 20,000. as far as coming in. It might even be more for the citywides, learning to juggle that and how to deal. But most important, when it came back down to my health, which is where my passion is, and that health and wellness, it is about, zeroing in to your body, because our bodies are tailored into our own body types and how we are uniquely wired as the Lord Jesus did and made us. So with that, in health and wellness and what I do with holistic herbal health, it all zeroes around that. I put a little gift for you guys in there that'll kind of tell you a little bit more the fun part. And how do I juggle? It's really making sure that we're centered. If we're healthy, we can do so much. And what makes us healthy is within our internal organs, because something as simple as our kidneys is how we age. And so if we revitalize and keep our kidneys healthy, then we can really focus on all these goals that we have. And I mean, I could sit and go on and on about goals and things, but there's some great experts here. So let me just share with you that it is about the organs, and something as simple as looking at your tongue. And for those that are in health and wellness that are familiar with the alternative style of Chinese medicine and the tongue and pulse diagnostics. So when the pandemic hit, for somebody that has a double autoimmune, it was nothing new to me. I've lived my life in a bubble. I can't get sick. I am this germophobic that a little drop of a sneeze can affect my whole life. And so if I don't keep myself healthy and keep myself vibrant, then there's no way I'm going to accomplish all these stacks of being able to do the tasks that I have. And that's something that kind of just goes. So when I give you a little pointer, it is about making sure your body is nourished. Obviously, everybody knows about the typical health and wellness. You drink water, you make sure you're hydrated, you exercise, you eat right. Definitely, please stay away from processed foods with MSG and GMO. Make sure that you don't have that, because that clogs down the mind. Make sure you're not drinking tap water, please, please, please. Distilled water, if you don't have that, boil the water. Hot lemon water at night is very good because it clears through the hardening of different things, the plaque stuff that goes in our body. And then some wellness detoxing tips are: make sure that you, on an annual basis, you're cleaning out your gallbladder, you're cleaning out your arteries, you're cleaning out your liver, you are rejuvenating. Most important is that kidney and liver that harmonize together, because the kidney and liver control the heart, and the heart controls the mind racing, worrying all the time, problem sleeping, foggy brain, all of those things that hinder us from getting one task done. Because if you have a migraine, and your eyes are so blocked, how do you even get one thing done? It's like just being able to sit. So move your body, range of motion, make sure that you are exercising and stretching and learning what works for you, and then get rest. Because if you don't let your body rejuvenate in that, and for me, it is starting my day and ending my day with the Lord, because He is the anchor of why I'm here and why I get to have my sometimes scraggly voice that comes with my embracement. But Philippians 4:13 is my scripture of I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But another one that is on the other shoulder is 1 Peter 5:7 is cast all your worries, because we are in an anxiety filled world right now, that just cast it to the feet. Because if you can't take care of it, know that God is bigger and He can take it. And so that's what I can tell you how I pretty much go with juggling. Thank you,
Awesome.
Lachelle.
Awesome. Well, we want to say goodbye to Lynda. Lynda has another appointment. We want to thank her for coming on. So we're going to conclude, and we're just going to go around and tell what our one word is for 2021, or something that we want to focus on. And then we want to give the audience a call to action, whatever you feel led, to tell them to do, to offer them for advice, or whatever you feel led to say. So we are going to start with Whitney.
So my word for 2021 is winning. My word for 2020 was trust. And what I realized is that, and it was a three-part, it was trust God, trust myself, and then trust the process. And in doing so, I was reminded of how important obedience is in that process. And the outcome of obedience is winning. It may not be winning the way I envision it, when I sit and think about it, but I'm winning. I'm winning God's way. And that's what's most important. And so just keeping in flow with that I'm trusting, I'm being obedient, and that results in winning. I would say that the call to action I would have would be to be willing to reach out for help, to actually ask for help. And one of the things I think we don't do enough is to bring others into our circle to help us with accountability. And just about everything I do, every goal I have, there's accountability built into that. And so there are ways that you can get someone who's there for you as a coach, who can can help you with accountability. You can ask friends or family, but know that they may not always be there to help you the way you need to. They love you, but sometimes that's not the best route. So, but whatever it is, reach out to someone that can help you stay accountable to your goals.
Love that. That's great. All right. And Lorraine.
I'm with you, Whitney. Family is probably I had to get over that. I had to get over the fact that family was not going to believe me, even maybe talk bad about me, may even say, oh, those things don't work. You don't want to work with her. Family can be tough. Strangers sometimes are much better. I have two words. One is healthy aging. That's been my word for the last 7 years.
It's working, girl. Okay.
It's working. Michele keeps asking me for my birth certificate. I don't know if I'm, but I just turned 79, and healthy aging is really, really important to me. Tenacity is another word. Sticking with what you say you're going to do. I'm a very tenacious person. If we're doing something or whatever it is in my life, when I started, I finish it. And I guess my call to action is this, and it's not a sales pitch, but if you're concerned about growing old healthy, I don't care if whether you're 40, 50, 60, or 80, and I'm already there. My call to action is, I am not a high pressure salesperson, but if you would like to learn how to age healthy, I am open for conversations. And to get my all of my contact information is very simple. Just text the word energy to 21,000 and you will get my digital business card with links to click through to everything that you need to know about me. So again, thank you, Michele, for having me here. Thank you, ladies, for meeting you. And I'm looking forward to long-term relationships with everyone.
Awesome. All right.
Michele,
Yes,
may I share my word?
absolutely.
Thank you. Very much like yourself, acronyms ring true for me. Happiness is based upon happy stance, which means a happening, which means we're up and down that acceptance of life, given an approval or a disapproval. So beyond happiness is joy. And joy as an acronym, in line of what has been said thus far about knowing thyself, owning thyself. So joy is just own yourself. Therefore, you are paying heed to what all these beautiful people have brought forward. And on that note, because I am a poet, I wanted to share a poem that speaks about this concept of rising above what may be clouds to literally the vistas of your own creation. This poem was written in 1988. It was the revelation because in 1983, I was diagnosed with cancer. And I did everything right. But then my question was, what was within me that allowed my body to choose to consume itself? So that touches upon many of the things stated thus far, and that is our own consciousness, our own mindset. And how do we understand that? And it was that question that I asked, and it was this answer through poetry that I am thrilled to offer you, if I may.
Yes.
It's called Wisdom of All. Oh, how the mind conceives the thought, with restlessness your heart is wrought. For there is a just and kingly goal, distant, distant, yet touching your crying soul. Be burdened not by task and deed, lest you be lost to the greater creed. Inspired by self, and that knowing within, shall you pass the haunt, the doom of the din. Listen, listen, dear child, to thyself, sovereign and wise. Heed not to temptation, deception, and lies. For it is the tear of joy that you shall weep when the promise you vow you do keep. And when you reach and court the dream, with God's love stand thou supreme. Deception takes not your abiding soul. You have reached a kingly goal. As many may doubt and may berate, you shall prevail, for love is thy fate. Guide the children, know their call, with God's tender love and wisdom of all.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you.
And it's, thank you. And it's with the respect and reverence for all that you have gathered here that I give my sense of joy. Just owning myself, just own yourself. And all the things that you beautiful people have stated comes to be. And obviously at another appropriate time, I'd be happy to share. I am a personal empowerment specialist, a sound therapist that has been innovative. And it's a story of understanding ourselves. Know thyself, know the meridians, how they affect us. All the things that were stated here, I felt as if, oh my God, if I were in a position, I would just get up and hug each of you and just say, keep up, because the answers that you have been able to acquire are literally the steps that allow others to know their truth as well. So I thank you.
Thank you
That's
so
amazing.
much. All right. Let's go over to Susan.
Thank you, Lachelle, and thank you, Rosemary. That was absolutely beautiful. And it was a perfect segue to my word, which is self-image. And
Exactly.
this past year, and as we go forward into 2021, I would ask everyone as a call to action to really define their self-image, be reflective, go deep, and be honest with yourself, and ask yourself the question, who do you think you really are? Not what other people say about you, not what other people think about you, friends, family, none of that matters. Who are you deep down inside? And being honest with yourself, say, is this who I really am and who I want to be? And then using your imagination, see and envision in your own mind what you really look like, how you really act, all of the things that you really want to do to make that true self-image become a reality. When you set goals for yourself this year, set a goal that's going to excite you to get out of bed every single morning. Because when you get closer and closer to that goal, you will find that that self-image that you've pictured in your mind is becoming truth. It's becoming a reality. And that will bring you joy. That will bring you happiness. And you'll be able to live your heart's desire. You know, we say that there's so much depression and anxiety in the world today. And depression is really not living your heart's desire. And you have the power in yourself to think the thoughts that will create the feelings, that will bring about the actions and the results that will bring you joy and happiness. If you need help doing that, because so many of us get caught in day-to-day kinds of things, that's one of the things that I do to help others to get to that point where they can see the results that they want so that they can be happy and live their life's dreams and reach those desires and be who they really know that they are. You could find me at owlintheapple.com. And I wish you all the very best for 2021 and finding your true self and living your best life. Thanks, Michele, for having me today.
You are welcome. All right, we're going to go to Michele.
Great. Well, thank you. Well, my call to action is creating immunity for life. We've had this past year for 2020 to reflect, recharge, re-educate, recreate, restructure, and rewind. So now is the time to take action, like Lynda had said, stepping into this new year of 2021 with so many dreams. It is about making that happen and being a voice, especially for those that might not have it. The opportunities take on to rise above, implement, persevere, ignite, execute, inspire, re-engage, reset, revive on your resolutions with your passions to create legacies. And my gift for anyone that would like to take advantage of their own health is to take advantage of a complimentary basic wellness analysis, because the tongue doesn't lie. And just text tongue to 66599. And that's tongue, all caps, TONGUE, and allow me to help you with getting that if you need. But know that you are not alone and that there are sources all around. If you don't have that voice, then reach out, because there are people there to help, to make sure that you can do what it is that you want to do to further your life in this next year.
Love that. Thank you. All right. Now we have two other guests that have joined us. We want to see if they wanted to say a few words. Let's start with Kimberly.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say I am just enjoying the camaraderie and the fellowship and being connected with like-minded women, and I'm getting so much from each and every one of you. This has truly been a pleasure, and I just want to thank you so much for inviting me, Cecelia. I'm thankful to be here, and I'm looking forward to connecting with you all. I already submitted a request to join the Women Action Takers group. I see she's already left, but yeah, I love it. I'm thankful to be here. Thanks for having me, ladies.
All right. Okay. And Lynda.
Yes, hi, ladies. Thank you for having me. I am definitely enjoying myself. Being able to connect to women action takers. This is what it's all about. First, I want to thank Cecelia for inviting me. I love, again, with Kimberly, just not to piggyback, the camaraderie, and I love the connections. I did myself. I joined the group as well. I look forward to hearing more, seeing more, getting more information from you ladies, just basking in your presence. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much.
All right. And we are going to round it out with Celia, who is going to give us her call to action and word for 2021.
So for 2021, I want us to be resilient. We all showed resiliency in the face of everything that we faced in 2020. And I want us to compound on that for 2021. I looked up resilient and it says being able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. So if we are all here in 2021, we have come through a lot. We have recovered a lot. And as we go into this new year, continue to be resilient because there will be more challenges on the horizon, but it's by being resilient that we will be able to bounce back and to overcome those challenges and to stay the course. And my call to action for everyone on this is to make sure as you go through this year to focus on being of service. I learned a long time ago that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So if you can continue to be of service and to serve others, it goes along with a quote from Zig Ziglar that says, you can have like everything in life you want if you help enough people get what they want. So my goal or my request of you as we go through this year is to find ways to be of service.
Awesome. All right. Well, this has just been wonderful. I just want to thank everybody for coming today. My word in rounding this out is wisdom. And I just want to give everybody a call to use your experiences in the past. You know, what rings true for me is 2020 and this pandemic, and what lessons did we learn that we can actually build on? You know, it's kind of like surreal for me because I struggled with 13 years of depression. I was hospitalized 3 times and I didn't let that stop me, you know, but I had to get out of that mindset. I had to begin to take ownership for the things that I was doing and not doing or not saying. And in order for me to rise out of the ashes. So I just encourage people to, in getting wisdom, to get sleep. You know, that's another thing. We don't have peace of mind to be able to get a good night's rest. So take some time to think about having a nighttime routine, something that you could do to make sure that you get a good night's rest, because that's something that we often take for granted. But I want to age healthy. Okay. I want to look like Lorraine when I get to be 79, want to make it to 79. Okay. So we definitely want to make sure that we start with a good night's sleep. At this time, I want to encourage everybody, if you haven't, to put your information in the chat. I want to thank all the panelists for coming today. And this is something that I think that we will do more often, because I think it's great to kind of have that camaraderie, as a couple of our guests said, and be able to encourage and hold each other accountable, and just to get insight. You know, a lot of us being entrepreneurs with our own businesses, you kind of feel like you're out in the water by yourself. But it's times like these when we come together and we can help build and encourage one another. So we want to thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have any questions, comments, please feel free to put them in the chat or in below of the video. And we look forward to seeing you the next time. If you are interested in being a panelist, please feel free to contact me. You can email me at info@LachelleAtkins.com. So again, we want to thank you, and we will see you guys next time. Have a great evening.
Thank you.